Good afternoon, YouTubers. Dan's Custom Hot Rods, Wichita, Kansas. Update on a roll cage and a rear end and a Pro Street 1980 Corvette. No, it's not completely done. I've got half of it built. I've got, well, right there, a whole bunch of tubes that have to go in still. So this is just the main hoop, halo, front struts, just tacked together. I've been fitting it for the last few days. When they come universal like this, you literally have to make it work. Cut, grind, refit. Yeah, it's part of these universal cages because they're not made for this particular car. Technically, this was actually supposed to be bought for a C3 Corvette. Not even close. It was a universal. It's been difficult to make it fit at best. Anyways, we're got that put together. It fit like a glove. Well, we made it fit like a glove. It's not easy, and that strut's just to hold it up. See, top is off, or the whole top thing, it's all one piece, is off. And I was trying to make these top hold downs go around the cage, but I can't get that one back out. So, oh well, that's not a big deal. We'll figure out something else. But anyways, you get the drift that cutting and grinding, cutting, and the tubing cutter doesn't always function quite right, and you end up having to do weird things. So anyways, the harnesses will go on that bar. I have a 5-point harness. And as you can see, it went right straight through the floor. That's the way it was designed, because that's the only way to get this through to a frame. And turn this thing around, and you can see a frame where the tubing is bolted onto it. Rear end, ladder bar coil over. It's all been welded and fabricated in. My hand's over the front of the phone again. Yeah, okay. So anyways, got all those tubes that have to get cut, ground, and installed still. And we'll make an X, things like that. I don't know if I'll put a knee bar up there, because I don't know that I'll need a knee bar at all, but we might, yeah. So anyways, as you can see, we have a cage kit installed, tacked up, and looks good for the front. So anyways, hi, Dan's Custom Hot Rods, Wichita, Kansas. There's frame. There is mounts. There is all that stuff in there. There is the original gas tank. The original rear frame connected into those new frame rails. So, we're getting there. We're not even close to being halfway home. The frame is actually welded underneath the back, from the cross member to the rear end, or the gas tank, I should say. Yes, chassis is welded up. We're done there. Might have to do some fitting, but then, yeah, anyways. So, what I've got today is a roll bar. Cage kit. Universal. They don't always work the way They're supposed to. These were not designed for the car I'm putting it in. So, we also have a new stall converter for this. And the other day, I picked up a matching flex plate and starter for the big bad small block. Might be 500 horse. Who cares? Pro Street is based on bigs and littles and tubbed and caged. It's not built on 1,000,000 horsepower. We still drive them on the street, so they kind of gotta be safe. Roll cage. Not for the faint at heart when you get a cage kit like this. I'm a welder by trade. That's what I do every night. So I can tell you right now, this is not for the faint at heart. These are expensive, $300-400 for a cage. And I'm telling you, you screw it up and it just looks uneven. Bars are everywhere, things like that. That's because they're hard to build. And not for the faint at heart is what I mean by it's not easy. Getting all this tucked up underneath and things like that. So that's where we're at. And we have a roll bar, well, cage kit. I'll add the bars later. We have a rear end completely measured out. And the next thing I got to do is move a bunch of brackets on the rear end because the rear end brackets are not quite right for this car. So I have to move some things on that rear end, add my shock towers, well, they're mounts, the rear shock mounts. I still have to add a cross member into the frame rails right there for the top shock mounts. So don't be doing this at home if you're not a fabricator. This is not for the faint of heart. I am not an engineer by any stretch of the imagination, but I've done this hundreds of times, not on a Corvette. But okay. So bottom line is, these all work the same way. The wagon that was on here a while back was tubbed and caged. It's for sale. Well, I can't say it's caged. We were going to put a cage in it. It's tubbed, full frame, blah, blah. This is no different than a Chevelle or a 34 Ford. The frame is still narrowed, and you cross-member them with shock cross members. Some of the bigger ones, you have to put an X in the frame like I did the other car. Things like that, just for stability. This one, I don't need to do that. We're going to put a shock cross member, and that'll be great for everything. So I still have a panhard bar. I can't put it all in without a panhard bar. I haven't ordered it yet. So what? I make my own. A couple rod ends and a piece of tubing that I've got over there. Make my own. So what? The reason why I say not for a faint of heart again, you really need to be knowing what you're doing. I'm a certified welder by trade. So what? There's a lot of guys out there that can weld, but the question is, can they weld quality? Can they pass a quality control test? Some of the stuff I've seen here on YouTube and Facebook, never mind. It's that bad. So, DOT approved. So, we're not going to have any problems. My welding certifications that I carry here also cover me for welding up that. So, in the meantime, as soon as the converter comes in for the transmission, we're going to put this motor and tranny back together. Frame's done, so we can mount a motor and tranny. And put it all back together. Once we get the torque converter next weekend, we can put everything back together the way it was and almost make it run. I'm going to be buying strange, what they refer to as street axles. They're a lot lighter weight than plain simply race axles. Race axles are alloy, specifically made for whatever. These are street stuff. Splines are 31 spline. They fit a 9-inch, and they're not built so hardcore that you can put 1,000 horsepower in front of them. You probably can, but that's your problem. I go with Strange because they're the best on the market. Bar none, period. I've broke Mosier. I've broke Dana's. I've broke a lot of things. I haven't been able to break a Strange axle yet. Haven't stripped out a mini spool or anything like that. I don't run a posi in my rear ends. I run what's called a mini spool. That's a big giant chunk of iron that replaces the spider gears in the gear sets. I learned 30, 40 years ago, late 80s, take out the posi because they don't always work. And the ratcheting. Stick a mini spool in. It's a guarantee that both axles, what we call a live axle, both axles turn at once. Same thing. They call it a live axle because it makes it one. So if anybody's wondering, I run a mini spool because it's perfect for what I want to do. Gives me posi, gives me locked, control, everything. Everybody says, oh, it's going to bark and jump around corners. No, it does not, even with the big tires on the back. No, I've parked my race car in Walmart's parking lot. They slide on the black top. They slide. You can hear it. You stick your head out the window, and if you can obviously hear the tire in the driveway, they slide on the blacktop and the pavement when they're locked with a mini spool or a spool. They don't chirp, jump, do all that stuff. I've been driving Pro Street since 86. I've been building them since probably 88 or 90. I don't know when it was. The difference is mini spools are fine for the street. They're going to work every time. They do what we ask. Anyways, enough said about that. That's where we're at. I wanted to bring you a new video. Thank you for listening. Thank you to the new subscribers. I'm seeing a little bit more in views. 16 is good, considering we were at 4. Let's jack up the views, man. Share this thing. I don't know what viral is, but, maybe it's a virus. I don't know. Anyways, hey, we've got a roll bar in this. The only Pro Street, that is narrowed, tubbed, caged. That's what Pro Street is, by the way. Yeah, I'll show you again. Narrowed rear end, wheel tubs, roll cage. That's what we mean by Pro Street. Tub, narrowed, caged. That's simple. I got brand new seats. We'll try them tomorrow, and we'll see how they work. And get some harness tabs installed. Get some more bars put in this thing. I got a lot to build. We're only tacked up and part way. Stay tuned. I'll throw another one, maybe Sunday. I'm off Monday, maybe Monday. Who knows? Stay tuned. Get these videos jacked up. Share them, please. Begging you. I'd like to get to 20 views on something. Is that asking a whole lot? The only Pro Street, tub caged, narrowed, 1980 Corvette on YouTube. Anybody finds me another one, I'll be glad to look at it. It's cool. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thumbs ups. Views. Yeah. Thank you. Dan's Custom Hot Rods, Wichita, Kansas.